Pura vida. What's that?
Pura vida.
Pura vida.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's a saying in Spanish. It's mostly people from Costa Rica say.
Oh, okay. What does
Yeah,
it
yeah.
mean though?
Pura vida means pure life.
Oh.
But it translates into not necessarily pure life, but like into a full adventurous
Like
life.
carpe diem type thing.
Kind of like a carpe diem, but more like a relax, like chill
Yeah.
vibe. You know, like
Yeah.
carpe diem, but don't take yourself too serious. Type of
Yeah,
shit.
like don't jump off a cliff kind of
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
but
yeah.
enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Don't take yourself too serious. Type of situation.
Got it.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fresh presents Que Bola, where we talk to various movers and hustlers who are popping off and succeeding in the 305 and at the same time influencing the culture. I'm your boy D Fig. Holla at your boy when you see me in the street. Ew. Hey, how y'all doing? Happy New Year's, happy 2023. I hope everybody out there winning, prospering, and get it in. Ya tu sabes how we do out here on the Que Bola podcast, man. On this episode, we sat down with Jodeci Bird, a rising star in the South Florida music scene. I really want to thank Jodeci for coming on and talking to us and being so honest and transparent about all her trials and tribulations and how she's been able to come through that and now on the other side of that, prospering. I really enjoyed this talk, and I think it has a lot of great insight for a lot of people, especially creatives out there working in the field, trying to get it in. Without further ado, episode 70, Jodeci Bird. Holla. Listo. So we're another episode of the Que Bola podcast. It's your boy, D Fig. Holla at your boy when you see me in the street. In this particular episode, in the studio, we have Jodeci Bird.
Hey guys.
Jodeci
Hello.
Bird.
Meow.
So Jodeci, thank you so much for coming through. Thank you
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me.
thank you for spending some time with us, being transparent and talking to us, letting us get into your world and explore and figure out what makes you move and things like that. So Jodeci, you are a musician, right?
Yes.
Out of South Florida?
No, I was actually born and bred in South Dakota
Okay.
until about 13.
Okay.
So I consider myself born in South Dakota, born and bred, but adopted by Florida.
Okay.
Yes.
So you moved to South Florida more or less at what age?
I moved to South Florida. I moved around a lot growing up, but I moved to South Florida. I didn't really take South Florida. It was never really enticing to me. I was more in Central Florida for a while, and we, Central Florida people come down to South Florida to have a good time, kind of thing. And we went Miami just slowly started. I kept falling in love with it.
So you were like coming in and out of South Florida?
Yes, until I finally kind of buckled down. I want to say like 3 years ago.
Okay.
Where South Florida was like, that's where my heart was.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of transplants that are making moves and changing and influencing the culture in South Florida in general. Some are doing it for the great, such as yourself. Some are despised for it because they're like changing the culture in a way where they're not respectful of the current culture. You know? So it's really how you approach that. Like coming to Miami is like either I'm gonna come and bring what I know to South Florida and be this, or I'm gonna try to adapt and and move within what's already there. Being respectful.
Well, with me, and as far as my career goes, as far as anything goes, it was never really about the location.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do think, you have a passion for something. It doesn't matter where you're at, you're going to get it done. But in my situation, just for whatever reason, the environment was very, very positively reinforcing for me as an individual. So I can say I can function better here because I know I can. Myself.
What do you think that is?
Honestly, I think it's just the energy overall. The energy, the
What was that?
what was that? I don't know. The energy overall, and I really do like the pace.
Okay.
The thing that I think that might be one of the biggest reasons is because I love to work.
Okay.
there's work in Miami 247 365. It does
Yeah.
not shut down, you know. And so I think that's part of the reason why I do like it. I mean,
Yeah.
every city is like that, but Miami has this refreshing to me, and that's my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, so just to me, and someone else could call, you know, be called or felt right, like intuitively. I
Yeah.
do think that I came to Miami just because I function better here. I'm able to balance myself quicker and bounce back quicker. And obviously the compared to South Dakota, not that I don't love South Dakota, but
Yeah.
the opportunity
Yeah.
ratio is very
Yeah, I
very
know.
different.
I mean,
So-
yeah, it's a huge like disparity in change between South Dakota and Miami.
Absolutely, yeah. And so so my family, I came down here on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah, my family still lives in South Dakota, so it was really like this is
What
my
do they
life.
look at you like that?
Well, at first they were like, how?
Yeah.
How do you do? They were like, how? And, you know, I actually didn't, you know, I had, I don't know if you want to bring it up, the alcoholism and everything. And they just, mostly my mom, yeah, my whole family, because they're all up there. I'm the only one that has,
Migrated.
yeah. And they're kind of looking at me more of how. Like, how can you just up and go? How can you just leave what you know? How can you just leave where you're comfortable? And you can't get anything done being comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, those are like deep ass words right there.
No, I mean, you have to get uncomfortable to get comfortable. If you want anything done, you have to get uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's 100%. Nothing like productive comes out of a comfort zone.
Absolutely not. The
Yeah.
fear of the unknown is everybody has it.
Yeah.
For me to sit here and tell you that I'm not afraid of anything is a big fat fucking
Yeah. No, you could curse.
that is a big fat fucking lie. That
Yeah,
because no, I'm scared. I get scared. I don't know what I'm doing. But the difference between me and anyone that, I mean, everybody has the fear of the unknown. The difference between, or the separation between two people is going in, knowing that you're scared, but facing it anyway.
Okay. So I know that you grew up native, right?
I grew up native?
Not native. That you are native. But
I just adapted at
yeah,
some point.
that's crazy.
Started
I grew
morphing.
up there. Could
I
you
started
imagine?
morphing into a Native American at some point.
I grew up Latino, but now I associate myself as Chinese. That's good. That's the future, dog. No.
That is the future. No, don't say that.
No, but all jokes aside, so you're native, but how did I mean like you're raising, like that's what I meant. Like you grew up within that culture. How do you think that influenced your current trajectory as a musician? I know that your grandparents were artists and that you traveled with them, and you did like shows at a young age like that. Throughout like casinos and native reservations throughout the country, right?
Yes.
How did that like upbringing really influence you?
Wow. Well, great question. How did it influence me? You know, it's crazy because I didn't know, or you kind of don't realize these things, but I didn't realize that it influenced me until I'm put in situations where those skills are needed.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, until like when that difference is recognized or needed at a certain point, that's when you're like, oh shit, I am different.
This like I already know how to do this, because some people, I mean, actually, you don't have to put this in there, but last night,
Yeah.
one of the engineers had asked me, have you had media training?
Yeah.
And I was like, the hell is media training? Like, because he's like, I'm talking to you and I feel like I'm doing an interview. And certain situations like that is when I realize, okay, that is where I learned, I picked up these things growing up and by performing and by whatever, but I haven't realized because I haven't been to a point to utilize them until now, until I got sober, until I really there was a seamless correlation between my heart and my head to do music.
Okay, so you feel like you picked up some skill sets while doing all those various things while you were young.
Yeah, unintentionally.
Yeah.
And they didn't start manifesting until I took my career seriously, until my heart, my head, my spirit, until everything was in it. And then little things that we have to do, little things that I have to pop up at, little, like dancing, just little things that people would think you would have to bring someone in to tell me how to do. You don't.
Yeah.
Or my camp hasn't had to, because and that's when it shows. It's like, oh, like one thing is like I don't get nervous a lot, like when it comes to like stuff like this,
like interviews or just being
or just being myself. And but I think I unintentionally and unknowingly picked up a lot of that training, just growing up.
Okay. Do you feel that you have an advantage because you're a minority and because you're Native?
In the music industry?
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't say I have an advantage, because it doesn't matter if you're blue, black, purple, yellow, this, whatever. It's what you put your heart into.
100%.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter what race I am, or what, if I'm an alien, or whatever I am.
If I'm an alien.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but being Native American, I'm very, very proud to represent my tribe, because they are the stereotypical Native American. If I told you, if I were to say to you, what do you think of a Native American? There's a good chance
there's a stereotype or two
you're
in
gonna
there.
tell me something now, And so I mean,
that's fucked up. You probably be right,
Yeah.
Even though I consider myself to be worldly and well read, I probably would say some stupid shit at some point
about Native Americans,
yeah,
right? And then it's not painted in a very light. It's not a great light.
Yeah.
And so music-wise, I'm not using this as a gimmick.
Yeah.
More than anything, I am grateful to be part of this bloodline, because and to represent Native Americans, because that's not all we're made out of.
Yeah.
But there's nobody that has been stepping out to show, other than there's been a few that have made it out of the reservation and said, hey, we're still here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like I've mentioned to people in different cities and stuff that I'm Native, and they're like, you're Indian?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not from India.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm Native American.
I'm Native American.
Yeah, but it's because the population is so small, and it's so, they're not, the population is so small, and they're really plagued by themselves.
I mean,
and corruption. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, you can put it on there and let them know, because there's corruption everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, there's corruption in every realm of society, and wherever you might be, there's always somebody who's, because that's greed.
Yes.
And that's just part of human nature, unfortunately.
That's a virus in itself.
Yeah. I mean, it's dope, because like me, myself, being a minority, I feel that that's somehow an advantage for myself. Like I feel like being like, since people don't really expect much from you, because that's just the general stereotype. Yeah. That when you produce, that gives you the opportunity to work in silence and really produce something that at the end is like golden. Like, oh shit, damn.
And that was another thing, is when I went up there recently, and I haven't been up there for a minute, and the response was overwhelming, because it was kind of their first, my tribe, their introduction to me as an artist. Until then, they didn't really know much until I got involved more deeper. And as soon as they got a hold of me, they took it, on a life of its own, and they said, hey, MHA Nation, they're repping hard. Mandan Hidatsa Rikara, they're repping hard, as in...
That's your tribe?
Yes.
How do you say it?
Mandan Hidatsa Arikara.
Mandan Hidatsa. Mandan Hidatsa Arikara.
MHA Nation.
MHA Nation. One time for MHA Nation,
yes,
bro.
one time for MHA Nation. You guys, shout out. I love you guys so much.
That's dope. So when we were talking earlier, you had touched on a subject matter that you had gone through some substance abuse problems earlier on, and you've recovered, thank God, and you're like in a stage of sobriety. How long has that been going on, and how did you how did you traverse through
Oh my
that
gosh.
journey?
Okay, well, first of all, let's get one thing straight.
Yeah.
You will always be your only best friend and your worst enemy, okay? There's no competition except yourself. With that being said, man, did I give myself some fucking hurdles to jump over. Oh
Yeah.
my God, with that. Okay, with substance abuse is not a joke.
Okay.
Okay, substance abuse, well, first of all, being Native American again, I got blessed with that extra gene, you know.
Okay.
That alcohol kind of, I don't know if you know about that.
Yeah.
So I got blessed with that gene, so it definitely painted in my favor
Yeah.
being born to just go down that path.
Yeah.
You know, so what was exactly the
Like
question?
so you went through it and you went through recovery.
Yes.
How is it that you went through that journey? Because like at such a young age, normally people are not so self-reflective,
Mm-hmm.
where they're like, because when you're younger, you think that you're gonna live forever.
Forever.
You know,
Absolutely.
it's one of those things that they say is like such a cliche, but it is a million
No.
percent a cliche.
It is. I'm 24 and I know that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when you're young, you just like, bro, I think I'm gonna be this good forever, and then you
No.
get older, and you're like, nah, bro, it ain't like
Your
this.
knees are gonna start cracking.
Shit changes, bro. Shit switches up.
Yeah.
So going through that journey, how did you pull yourself through that? How has the music been a way for you
Outlet.
to like an outlet for your mental health?
Oh my goodness, absolutely. So I dealt with alcoholism for 10 years.
Okay.
I started at 13,
Alright.
got clean at 23.
All right.
Yes. And how to say that it is a beast is an understatement.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to, I mean, we could harp on alcoholism or addiction all day, but what it comes down to is willpower,
Okay.
resilience. And it's so hard. It's hard to explain because it's such a self battle that you go through so many emotions of, well, first you start with, am I alcoholic? And then you're like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm only drinking, 20 bottles a day. I'm not an alcoholic. I can stop when I want. No problem. I'm only up
like
to a
denial.
gallon a day. Like, I'm
Yeah.
good. And
Denial.
yeah. And so it's really I can only speak on my own experience.
Yeah.
And with mine, there was, I hit so many rock bottoms that should have been rock bottoms to people, like blacking out, the ending up in the hospital, ending up like so many injuries, so many hospitalizations, so many blackouts, so many arrests.
Yeah.
And that it should have been like, and so many close calls,
Yeah.
death close calls. And that it should have stopped me. It would have stopped anybody.
Yeah.
But my alcoholism had a grip on me, and it did not stop me. Actually, after all of these crazy, things that anyone with common sense would have stopped.
Yeah.
Not me. I didn't want to. I was addicted. And I was comfortable in my addiction. What did we just say?
Yeah. Like when you're in a comfort zone, that's basically death.
Yeah. You die in a comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous place to reside.
Wow.
But with me, what it basically came down to is I was tired. I couldn't do it anymore. And not only that, but when you're that deep into addiction, you start losing yourself. You lose yourself, you lose your sense of self, and that's not it. You make dumb decisions. You don't know you can't think clearly. You're in a fog. And when you're addicted, you got a job, one job, and that one job is to stay high.
To feed that addiction.
Yeah, because if you don't, you get sick, you freak out, you like you're just gone. Like it's very very deep, and you're holding the shovel,
Yeah.
digging your own shit. And so basically that's what I realized. And there was no big aha moment. There was a moment that I was sitting down at night, and on paper everything was fine. On paper you wouldn't guess. On paper everything was fine, and seeing me you wouldn't guess.
Yeah, socially people wouldn't know.
Nobody would know. Absolutely not. And and it was everybody's fault, not mine.
Yeah.
It can never be my fault. As an alcoholic, it was everybody but me. The whole reason I was drinking was because of everybody's fault but myself.
Yeah.
It was them putting me, they put it up to my mouth. No, what happened is I sat down and I had to take a hard look at myself. And I had to be honest with myself, whether good, bad, or indifferent. And I looked at myself and I was like, Jodeci, you're going to die.
Yeah.
You either do this or you die. And that's what it came down to. And so in my situation, I feel like I didn't have a choice, but at the same time, I did. Everybody does.
Yeah.
Everybody does. Every moment.
But then it's just really having that willpower, like you mentioned, to first the willpower to be self-reflective and be honest with yourself. Second, the willpower to then follow through with what the roadmap is to sobriety, to get out of it.
Mm-hmm. And there is none.
Yeah.
There's no formula. There's no blueprint on how to do it. That honestly, what I relied on completely was spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, that was my rock. And it's learning how to walk again. When you become clean, you are literally learning how to re-feel, how to react to just everyday things.
That would be like a trigger for you to go drink.
No, not even a trigger for me to go drink, but just in general, and because you lose yourself so much that when you decide to get clean, you have to rebuild everything.
Like as a personality?
Everything, yeah, because you lost that. My personality was gone. I didn't know who the bitch was. Like, I was like, when people talk to me now and they're like, oh yeah, I knew you. I'm like, you know the ghost of me.
Yeah.
You knew me. You know the ghost
then,
of me. Yeah, but you don't know me.
You don't know me now. That's crazy, man. I mean, it's dope though that I congratulate you that you went through that feat and you're currently on that trajectory and on that path, because I mean a lot of people don't really have that willpower to go through it, and they'll just be stuck in that rut until they no longer
till death.
Until
and
death.
Some people do have their last beer on their deathbed because of their cirrhosis or whatever. And people, I don't judge people with addiction because I know that it's strong and I know that it's not them. Mm-hmm. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand is like, I was looking crazy. I was getting arrested. I was in hospital, blah, blah, blah. But the addiction had me. It was a toxic relationship.
And also being able to forgive yourself for doing things, and
that was probably what you would not expect, the hardest things to do is to look at all of the shit that you've done, all the shitty shit that you've done, and take accountability for it.
Yeah.
That takes strength. That takes honesty, and that takes a hard-ass look at yourself and an honest one. Because if you don't do it honestly, you're not doing it thoroughly.
Yeah. Yeah. Bro, and asking for help, I think, is one of those things. I've recently come across some papers in mental health and the younger generation, Gen Xers, no, Gen Zers, and they really have this whole anxiety issue because they have a lack of social skills, in-person social skills. Mm-hmm. There a lot of people are on the internet consistently.
That makes sense.
So they're on their phone consistently. They don't know how to really socialize in person, and they don't know. But real in-life connection is key to so many things. You know what I'm saying? Being able to even knowing that you could reach out to somebody, that's key. That's clutch.
Yeah.
That like, yo, I'm in this really bad situation, but I know I could reach out to such and such, and he or she will help me out. And having that network or having somebody to ask for help for, that's big, bro.
Yeah.
That's big. That's like something that people don't take that. I don't think they really value as much as they should, like real friendship and real connection and community.
And that's the thing about addicts, which is too bad, is because they have so many people around them trying to help, but you cannot tell an addict shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Like, not only that, but you try to get them sober, you're their worst enemy after
Yeah.
that. They don't want to see you after that. They don't want to. I
That makes
promise
sense.
you that.
That makes sense.
You tell them the truth
like,
one time, they're running from you the next time they see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you would just have to let them, just reassure that person, yo, I'm here for you whenever you're ready, bro.
Yeah, and exactly, and that's what you have to do. And sometimes you have to be okay with the fact that you might not see them again.
Yeah.
And I've had friends, I've lost people, lost people that we were on the same path.
Yeah.
And not only that, but we were okay with that path. And that's a whole different. Like I said, I had lost myself, and I was running around with this crowd that was like, "We're here for a good time, not a long time." And I'm like, "Yeah, we are, sure."
Yeah.
I'm in.
Like YOLO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they were just. That's not a bad. I want to be here for a good time and a long time.
Yeah.
So that's
it
not
might be YOLO, but I want that life to be long.
I'm like,
dog.
yeah. I want to YOLO for a really good time.
I want that YOLO to be YOLO with the long L's.
YOLO.
Long life. You only live once, but I wanted it to last.
But that once has got to be a
Gotta
good
last.
long time. Yeah, absolutely. But in that situation, actually, when I had finally, when I decided to take on the addiction head on, it's actually kind of a funny story that a lot of people don't know, but I was such in a hole at that point that my family was done.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no, like, I had gone to detoxes, I had gone to rehabs, I had gone to, like, growing up, like, in those 10 years, in that duration of active addiction, or my alcohol career. And
Alcohol career.
and so at that point I had nobody. So it was any call, they wouldn't take, because it was, maybe I had gotten manipulative to that point, because when you're an addict, you take on all of these character defects that that
I
are
like
you.
how you say that, character defect.
Yeah, that are not you at all. And so with that, I made that executive decision that night when I really buckled down, and I was like, even my family wasn't answering. So I called, and it's crazy because when I did go to treatment, the morning of, I was actually here in South Florida, and they called me, and they were like, "Hey, we can put you in Florida," and I said, "Don't put me somewhere where nobody can come get me, because I know myself. I will get there. If it's in Florida, I can get somebody to come get me.
Yeah.
And I know I would.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
addiction would. I was like, you got to send me somewhere where I can't nobody can come get me. And they did. And the plane ride there, I was so serious, but my addiction, this was like a really very critical moment. I had showed up with my suitcase, and I was going to my flight, and if I had gotten in line, I was going to miss my flight with my suitcase. If I was going to check my bag, I was going to miss my flight. So you know what I did? I was walking through the hallway, like just through the airport, through the entrance where all the airlines and stuff is at, dropped my suitcase and kept walking straight to my gate. Dropped all my clothes, everything I had, everything I owned in that up to that point, because I was like, I can either stay and try to have them book me to get into treatment again, but I said, I know myself and I know my addiction. If I leave this airport now, I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
Because I'll talk myself out of it and say, oh, it's not that bad. No, I can keep drinking a little more. Maybe another week. Maybe. And so I dropped my suitcase and kept walking straight to my gate.
Wow.
So and it made it funnier later because when I got to treatment, and then I was talking to my mom, and I was like, can you send me clothes? She was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Never sent clothes because she didn't. I ended up finding out later is because she didn't think I was going to stay. But this time, in my mind, I was done.
Yeah.
And so I was doing everything, any like medication that would make me sick if I drank alcohol, sign me up for it. Anything I could do, but I left that suitcase there, and it caused problems when I got to the state, or I got to the treatment center, and I kind of wondered later on, like, wouldn't you think they would think that was a bomb?
Yeah, I was thinking when you said you left that shit in the airport, like, damn, they must have been looking for your ass 100%.
Because when I say mid-step, I'm carrying it. I look at that line and I'm like, I'm not going to make this plane. I just drop it and kept walking. Didn't even look back.
That's funny.
And so I was like, later on, I was like, you don't think they would have, like...
You think they still got it?
No, actually, someone went and picked it up for me.
Oh, okay.
And that's why it's funny, is because I was in treatment waiting for my stuff. My mom wasn't thinking I was going to stay, so she wasn't sending me anything.
Yeah.
So I was using the clothes at the treatment center that people had just left.
Yeah, leftovers.
Yeah, and so
Lost and found.
then I had somebody in Florida send that suitcase, and I was thinking, so I packed while I was actively drinking, right? So I was waiting for my suitcase so patiently, because I was like, oh, I know I packed comfortable clothes for rehab. I know I packed good. We got that suitcase. Every single thing in that suitcase made no sense.
Yeah.
It did not go with anything. There was like a bathing suit. There was like a wet towel. It was like this.
A wet towel?
It was like a bathing
Who
suit.
packs a wet towel?
No, I was drunk. And I was deeply an active addict.
Wow, bro.
But when we finally, because the whole staff was ready for me to get my clothes, because they had to keep running to get me stuff. So the whole staff, we were all waiting for my suitcase, and when it finally showed up in the mail, everybody was like, finally. And then we opened it, and we were like, who the fuck packed this?
Damn, we need to put another run of clothes together for Jodeci.
Like, I was able to use like 2 items out of the whole suitcase, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
So damn, man. So throughout that journey, I'm sure you weren't focused on anything musically or anything like that. Coming out of that, is that when you dove deep into the music?
The music never left the back burner.
Okay.
No matter what I was going through my entire life. Since I've been younger, it never left the back burner. It was just, I had a lot of unnecessary stuff always on the forefront.
Yeah.
And so after I got out, I immediately came down. I flew straight from treatment to here.
Okay.
And I stayed here for one night.
In Miami?
Yeah, and I was gonna stay to start music, but when I got here with the energy, I knew I wasn't strong enough yet. So I stayed here one night, and I went back to South Dakota for 4 months.
All right.
Until I felt I was mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally strong enough to be able to be around it all the time.
The crazy hellhole that is South Florida. Because, I mean, bro, the one thing about South Florida is that substances are free flowing everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere you go, it's always like continuously somebody asking you, yo, you want a drink? You want this? You want that?
And then even if you're like,
I got that.
Yeah, if you're like, nah, they're like, but I got this, and then I got this, and then I'm like, I never heard about that one before.
Yeah, exactly. Start busting shit out that
making
I ain't heard
things.
of. Like, yo, I got this octopus tentacle and shit. Like, what?
Just like some super technological, like, yeah, man, this is like the blue dream, and then blue Pura Vida with the 1, 2, 3 X.
Yeah, it's like what? Hold up, bro. Like, that's too exotic for me.
That's
dog.
like, no, you just made that shit in your backyard.
Shit. So yeah, I mean, South Florida is not an easy place to try to like lay in when you're recently coming out of
vulnerable, and I was
situation.
Yeah, and I recognized that, and so I went up to South Dakota and not waited, but was just building up myself and my mental and everything. And as soon as I did that, so I wasn't focusing on music per se within those 4 months, but I was focusing on my mental, my everything, every pillar that makes me. And once it hit 4 months, it was no time. I just knew, I knew it was time, and I was ready, and I was strong enough.
Okay.
And so I came down here last November.
All right.
And
that's when you started.
Oh yeah.
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 That's cool.
Yeah.
And when you originally came back in, what was your goal? What was your mindset? What is it like? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish?
So it's pretty interesting because when I came back, given my past and everything, I cut everybody off.
Okay.
Everybody I had known. So when I came back, I started from square one because I was not going to talk to those people, and not only that, I don't have anything in common with them anymore because that's just how it goes. You like attracts like. We're not on the same. Well, I can't hold a
vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, and so not that there's anything wrong with them wanting to stay in that vibe, but if they do,
Yeah,
there's
you were beyond that. You were moving on to something else.
Not beyond them or better than them, but doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And they couldn't contribute to that, contribute to the vision that I was going after. And so when I came down, I didn't know anybody, essentially. And I had gotten kind of one contact, and it led me to a studio that when I first came down, I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew it was music, and what I had in my head was kind of like an EP at the time. And as the EP, as I was creating the EP, I started getting introduced to more people. It started becoming a little bit bigger than it was because I was just going to come down. I didn't even really plan on fully moving back, I think, at the time. And but it was just to start as like a 6-song EP, but off of that, during the work of the EP, and I had gotten on social media again, which is something that I wasn't on, and with that I was posting sneak peeks and doing these things, and so it kind of grew on its own.
Yeah.
No, it definitely grew on its own.
Yeah.
It surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at that and I was like, first of all, what avenue do you like to engage with your fans with most?
What avenue?
Yeah, like what social media do you like to use most?
I can't really say that I have a favorite one. I like engaging with them in person more than anything.
Okay.
But there's not. I'm on everything.
Yeah.
I guess I would probably Instagram, I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
And how do you like when you're engaging with your fans, what are you trying to like, what's the message you're trying to send?
Okay, so this goes with all my music. And when it comes to writing, when it comes to anything, is I never want my music to end, not all the time, but end with a period.
With a period?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Meaning that I don't, if I'm writing a song about a breakup or anything like that, or if I'm sad, okay? I write a song and I'm sad, period. People are going to listen to that. When they're done, they're sad. Period.
Okay.
So if I write or any of my music, I want it to semicolon, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I could be writing a song about how I'm sad, but that is the difference between all of my music. I am sad, but it's for a better reason.
So
I miss you, but it's better for you and I. I don't like you right now. I hate you right now, but I couldn't hate you if I didn't love you.
So like a silver lining.
Absolutely. Like
Okay.
where it's not like I'm just fucking sad. Like I could be like I'm just fucking sad, but hey, if it weren't for that sadness, I wouldn't be here.
I mean, but sometimes people are just fucking sad.
No, but
bro.
that's why I said so not all the time. So not all the time.
Yeah.
I want it to end on a period, but
Yeah.
But you see what you just said. Sometimes some people are fucking sad.
Yeah.
So if I put the first half of the song, if I write it lyrically, fucking sad.
Yeah.
But the last line is, but I don't need to be because.
Yeah.
Then it changes your whole mood. It can change your whole fucking sadness and transmute that energy into, but do I really need to be sad? But, because my biggest thing is with the social media, with TV, with media, with news in general, there's a lot of inherited thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And with that comes along, so listen, let's say hypothetically, I'm in a let's say you're in a relationship, right? Hypothetically, and you get cheated on. Let's say you didn't even really like her, and you were about to break up with her, like the day you found out she cheated on you. You don't really care that she cheated on you. You were about to break up with her, but the media and every inherited thinking that has taught you, you got to get mad. You're not even really mad, but because of all the music and all of this inherited thinking of how we're supposed to react to these things, we do. Just because we're surrounded by it all the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of influences on you.
Yeah, but that's when you have to ask, what is yours? What are your feelings? What's your energy? And what's coming from outer sources?
Okay.
Because again, like I'm saying, you were going to break up with the girl that day. You don't even care if she cheated on you. But since you found out before you broke up with her, you get mad.
Or fake mad.
You think you get, and you could even be thinking you're faking yourself out.
Yeah.
You fake get mad, and then you could be like, wait, I was about to break up with her today,
Yeah, I really don't care at the end of the day.
Exactly. But I'm saying inherited thinking, people think that they react just based off of movies, based off of shows, based off of music, based off of this. So if we break barriers in that way, that you don't have to react like this, or you don't have to act like this, you don't have to feel this. That's what we're doing.
How do you feel about the landscape of music right now?
I think that overall, I think that a lot of people are sticking to an old formula.
What do you mean by that?
And it's starting not to work. It's
What's the formula? What's the old formula?
It's very, I mean, it's all like tailored to each artist and each person, but it's the same. And in my opinion, it's been going on for a long time. And it's hard to explain it to you, but do you understand that
I know there's a formula.
Yes, there's a formula, and it's a very, okay, so, well, one thing, at least, again, I can only speak for myself, is a lot of people come up to me and they say, well, what genre? What genre?
Yeah,
and
what
I'm
genre
like,
are you in?
everything.
Yeah.
And when they say that, I say that, no, what genre though? What are you? No, I'm not in any genre. That's like saying if I was an artist, I only painted with the same 4 colors. You know, that's not what music's about.
Yeah.
That's not what art is about. It's about experimenting, self-expression. It's about healing yourself, healing others.
I see what you mean by the model.
Yes.
So you're attempting to change that model by just being more focused on the expression than the actual like labeling.
I'm not attempting that. That's just what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
You're going about it without like labels. You're just being expressive.
Yeah, and because you don't always feel like the genre that people try to box you in is. And like a good example is I was raised as a Disney Channel kid.
Okay.
Do I look like a Disney Channel kid?
Yeah.
And but growing up, I went to all these Disney camps and all this stuff. My mom was like a real hardcore momager.
Yeah.
And that she just really boxed me in. And I was glad that I went through it because I was able to see that formula. I was able to be on the kind of the, you know, what bothers me about that side is the fakeness.
I mean, yeah, because they're not really looking for authenticity. They're looking to reproduce what they've already done.
Cash cow, and that's why I'm saying they're using an old formula, and it's starting not to work.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you there. I totally agree with you that like people who are really into music now are not
listening to the radio.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're out there looking for new, exciting experiences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know? It's no longer like the throwback of how it was. I agree with you there. So with the song WYD, recently dropped, I saw the music video. Shout out to my boy Claudio Zelaya from Mighty Cloud. You know,
Shout
one time
out
Claudio.
Yes,
that's
Claudio.
my G. I know that's produced by Tom Brazy, one of our podcast alums. Shout out Tom Brazy.
Shout out Tom Brazy as well.
That was your
Wait, who?
Tom Brazy Beats.
Who's that?
One of your main engineer producer.
You said Tom?
Yeah, Tom. Is that his name?
Tom.
What's his name? Thomas?
Tom Brady?
Tom Brazy? Who's Tom Brazy?
Are you
Hashtag
sure?
who's Tom Brazy?
Did you do your research right?
I did. I think I looked it up. I think he actually was the one who talked to me about you first. He introduced me to you. Thomas the Brazy the Beats.
Okay. Yes. Okay, shout out Tom Brady.
Shout out Tom. Um, So yeah, I mean, he produced the WID. You guys came together. That's like your first foray from like your hiatus, right?
Yes.
In music.
Yes.
What was that? What was that whole experience? Talk to me about that. Like coming back through there.
Well, actually, so it was it was off of my hiatus. How do I say this? So growing up, I did live performing. Like I did a lot of live performances. I did, just live performances.
Yeah.
But so also working with working with Tom Brady and
Tom Brazy, Thomas.
Wait, you can't edit that out. Sorry.
No.
Okay. Working with Tom, working with Claudio, it's a little bit different because live performances is I was just working off of shows. And
What do you
basically
mean, like working off of people's energy?
no, just getting paid by shows. Just doing shows.
Okay.
There was no CDs, there was no singles, there was no iTunes, there was none of that. There's no music videos or anything. So when I came in this year and as an independent artist, it was all new to me. Just as new as it's so everybody that follows me and everybody that supports me, they're just as much on this journey with me as I am.
Mm-hmm.
And they're learning, I'm learning how to adapt to a lot of things. And so that whole experience with WID, it was all new to me. And I felt right at home. I mean, like everything from the seed of the idea to seeing the actual product is such a rewarding thing for myself.
Yeah.
Like as an artist. And so just that is, but it's also, as much as I appreciate and everything in the work, that's only the beginning.
Yeah, I know you guys have a lot more music coming on the way.
Yes.
What's your like writing like process? I know that you do the poetry portion of all the productions. How do you get influence for that? Where's your inspo? How do you do that?
My inspo,
Yeah.
my inspo is definitely all of you guys, the whole world. My inspiration, my writing process is there's no one way I write at all.
Oh, okay.
It's very depends. It very depends, but I like writing. I kind of do this thing myself, so I kind of I like to separate. First, what I do is I go outside, and this is like really, really in detail, but this is true. I go outside and I look at the stars.
Okay.
And in that moment, I separate what's personal and, my feelings to separate aside. And also, but I also look at them and see if they can be, well, one, if I'm really feeling emotional, there's a song coming out of that right there on my iPhone, like blah, blah, blah. We're in the Uber. I don't care. Like, there's a song coming right there.
Yeah.
But when I'm sitting, and it's going to get done in 5 minutes, especially, and it happens a lot.
Yeah.
And but I will, how do I say this? So I go outside, I separate depending on how I'm feeling, and if I can use those feelings and turn them into music, then I can, which you can always do. But when I want to feel, a good example is one time I was feeling really weak. Like, just as a person, a lot was going on. I was just going through it, whatever, feeling super, super weak. And actually, it was a studio session I was on my way to with Tom Brazy,
Yeah.
and I was meeting him there. Actually, we were gonna record a whole different song, and I was feeling like we had it planned and whatever. And I was feeling weak and what blah blah blah, just down, and just life, And on from the ride to where I was living to the studio, I had written a whole other song because I had heard I got a beat I got a beat through email. I listened to the beat, heard the beat, and immediately started writing to it. And because I was feeling so weak, I was writing strong lyrics. And by the time I was done with those lyrics, I felt that what I was intending to. So in that way, it's healing for me, and it's also healing, for the people that listen. I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. So sometimes you use the emotion as like fuel, but if it's appropriate to the
Yes.
situation, but if you're really like emotional, then the whole song will just spew out of you. That's up. That's what's up, man. Everybody, all different artists have a different approach to writing lyrics, and I myself, when I make music, I'm like it. I'm trying to I'm always trying to sit in a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel this vibe, and I feel like I'm producing with Golden Flora, and we'll sit down in the music in the studio, and I'll be like, I feel like I'm driving a Phantom. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, but that's that energy when you put
that's the
that
energy.
intent.
Yeah,
And so when I
exactly.
say I separate my own personal,
Yeah.
and I'll decide what energy do I want to project.
Yeah.
Like what do I want? What do I want to make? Like, do I want to make people feel happy? Do I want them to be getting ready? Like,
Yeah.
are they want to chill? Do they
Exactly.
want to smoke? It's
Yeah.
all of that comes into
Different vibes.
Yeah,
Trying to set
because
the vibe.
everybody has. You're naturally being
Yeah.
human. I mean, unless you're not,
Yeah.
you got vibes.
Have you ever incorporated any? Do you speak your native tongue?
I do a little bit.
Have you ever incorporated those lyrics?
Not yet. We have some things coming up though.
Okay.
Yes.
You've thought about it though.
We have some things coming up.
Okay. That's what's up. That's
Yeah.
what's up. Yeah, because I mean, I'm Hispanic, so I'm currently making music in Spanish.
Okay.
And I'm making it in Spanish primarily because it's a challenge for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up speaking Spanish, but I speak English better now
Yeah.
because I haven't spoken Spanish continuously all the time. So I saw that as a challenge. So I try to incorporate that in like as an artist. So
That's what music's about.
exactly.
Yes.
So like I see the same in yourself, that you want to challenge yourself and you want to express yourself.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that you've tried to incorporate some of your native language into your lyrics.
You'll know.
That's what's up. That's all. Do you have anything that you could tease us with that you might be knowing that's dropping soon, or you have a video coming, or anything along those lines?
Okay, this is where I get confused.
Why?
Because this is why I asked you if it was live. Because when is this airing?
It's probably like in 2-3 weeks.
Oh, okay. So, okay. Yes, I do.
Okay, what do you got? What you got? Let us
Boy,
know.
do I have some stuff for you. All right. So 2 to 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Okay. What we have, we have Priceless coming up.
Priceless.
Yes. Shout out to the feature pack. Every artist on there who I handpicked every artist for the feature pack myself.
Okay.
Yes, just because they each brought. I see something in them, or they each have their own little. I mean, everybody does, but every artist. These 4 particular ones I picked because they bring something so different to the table. And so the feature pack, shout out to Big Kuza, shout out to Roblo the Star, Kansas City, Big Kuza, Lakeland, Florida, Malky Means King, Oakland, California, and Ace, Miami, Florida.
That's what's up.
Yes, everybody really, really, really did do their thing on that.
Okay.
Yes. So they ran with it. So their verses are completely done.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
And yeah, I had no. It's just that was all of them.
And
They
does
did
Priceless have
wonderful.
video attached with it?
Yes, we're just about to drop Priceless the video.
Okay,
and
so
we're
you're gonna
dropping
start
some-
with the video first, like you did with WID.
Yes.
All right, so
No,
you how, so you're
I
gonna
already talked about the feature pack.
you're doing the feature pack and then dropping the video and then dropping the single.
I thought you said the feature pack was already dropped.
Yeah. Are you? When is the single dropping? Before or after the music video,
The same time.
or at the same time?
We're dropping Priceless. We're dropping the single and the video at the same time.
Okay, that's what's up. And the feature pack prior to, but the feature pack will
just
be
acted as
coming
if
out
you-
prior, yeah, prior to the music video and the single. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. But we'll be looking out for Priceless. WID has already put up some crazy numbers on YouTube.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I saw that shit. It has like 375,000
Does
views.
it?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, I mean, bro, that's a and you dropped it like what, like a month ago or something like that?
No, I think it's been a minute. But
Is it longer than a month or like 4 months? I'm not sure how
I'm
long.
not sure.
But
But
I
that, yeah, that
That's a lot of views.
everybody they definitely took that and gave it a life of its own. And I'm on the journey
Yeah.
just like as well everybody around me, and they're on it with me. Everybody, all the supporters, everybody. It's crazy.
That's what's up, man. It's always dope to see like a young entrepreneur coming up, especially a creative expressing themselves, and bringing a community along with them. Which that's something that really attracted me to you, is that like you're native and like you represent that, and you're bringing it's like you're bringing your community with you. You know what I'm saying? We're all about creatives and entrepreneurs here, especially minority creatives and entrepreneurs on the Que Hola podcast. So that was a big plus. And thank you so much for coming on. You
Of
know what I'm saying?
course.
If people
Thank you
want to
for
reach
having me.
out to you, if they want to like hit you
My
up.
phone number is
What are your handles? Where can people reach out?
You can get me on Instagram at I am Jodeci Bird. Snapchat is just at Jodeci Bird. TikTok at Jodeci Bird.
Okay. TikTok.
And my phone number is
We'll bleep it out. Beep, 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 beep. 305-555-5555.
Oh, you know what we should do? You want
What?
to do something fun?
What? Tell me.
Okay, I got an idea.
What it is.
How about whoever comments, we're gonna give
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
pick 5 random people. No,
Okay.
okay, I'll do this.
All right.
Okay, 5 random people. I mean, hey, this is here on your
I'm
podcast.
down. I'm down. What's up?
Okay, 5 random people.
5 randos.
We're gonna give them an article of my clothing.
Okay.
Okay, but they have to comment towels 12.
Towels 12.
Yes.
Okay. Or not what towel? Towels 12.
Towels 12 with the T and the W capitalized.
Towels 12 with the T and the W capitalized. They'll get 5 pieces of article. Oh no, 5 people.
5 people. We'll
You're
get
like,
one
no, that's
piece
a
of-
shit. That's an outfit. What the fuck? Y'all gonna send out outfits now?
I mean, we can do outfits,
So,
but the thing
no.
is, there's guys.
Yeah, okay. So
So-
5 people, you get a piece of article if you comment towels 12 with a T.
Towels 12 with a capital T and a
The
capital
first 5 though.
W. Not the first 5. We have to pick them random.
Oh, okay. 5 randos will get picked. Damn, that's even crazier. That's what's up. Comment away.
You have to comment towels 12, capital T, capital W.
That's what's up.
in
That's what's
towels.
up, man. Well, thank you so much, Jodeci. Thank you for that, for throwing that screwball in at the end. I love that. That was dope. Thank you for being transparent and talking to us and sharing your experiences with us. Hopefully, some creatives and entrepreneurs out there get something out of this dope, insightful talk. Thank you so much, and I champion you for doing what you're doing right now.
Thank you.
That's dope. Like
Thank
being expressive and coming out of that whole like rut that you were in to go ahead and like and challenge yourself to be a better person and conquer this whole music career thing.
Thank you. I appreciate it so
No,
much.
thank you for coming on. And hasta la próxima. You guys know what it is. It's your boy D Fig. Holla at your boy when you see me in the street. If you like it, share it with your friends. If you hate it, share it with your enemies. But just share this motherfucker, all right? Peace. Thank you, Jodeci, for coming on. Thank you for being real. Such a awesome person. Really good energy, really good vibes. I see you rising and succeeding and getting to that mountaintop. I see that happening, and I wish nothing but the best for you. You guys know where to reach out to her. She might be open for collabs and things along that nature. I am Jodeci Bird on IG, Jodeci Bird on all the other platforms. Please share, subscribe, comment, and push the podcast to as many creatives and entrepreneurs as you possibly can. Anybody that you know that could get some value out of this and all of these talks that we've having with creatives and entrepreneurs and creative entrepreneurs. Holla at your boy when you see me in the street. Is your boy D Fig, Fresher Fresh Productions, Fresher Fresh Media. You know what we're doing out here, all about minorities and all about creatives and entrepreneurs. Hit me up on Que Bola Podcast, IG. Que te crezca. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Que Bola Podcast. This has been a production of Fresher Fresh Media. It's your boy D. Holla at your boy when you see me in the street.